There's a kind of love every woman deserves, but not every man is capable of giving. And that's what makes this conversation so important there, because if you've ever been in a relationship where the chemistry was there, excitement was real, and the connection felt electric, only to find yourself wondering weeks or months in, realize that there, does he actually love me? Or is he just here for the thrill? You're not alone. Here's the truthy: desire is loud, love is consistent. And the difference between the two, it's not in what he says, it's in what he does. You see, a man might call you beautiful, text you all day, even sleep next to you at night, but none of that confirms love. Realize that there, because love isn't proven through flowers and flattering compliments. It's revealed in how a man shows up when it matters, not just when it's easy, but when it's inconvenient. There, not just when he's winning, but when he's vulnerable. Men don't always know how to talk about love. Some struggle to express it. Others avoid the word altogether. But if you know what to look for, you'll see it in his patterns, in his behavior, in the way he shifts from being about himself to building a life that includes you. So in this speech, I want to give you the clearest signals that a man isn't just interested, he's invested. He's not just chasing a connection. He's choosing you. These are 6 things men only do for the woman they truly love. If you're seeing these, don't doubt it. You're not just someone he wants. You're someone he's becoming something for. Let's get into it. When a man truly loves you, one of the clearest signs isn't what he says when things are going well. It's how he responds when your needs challenge his comfort zone. That's the difference between someone who's merely infatuated and someone who's genuinely committed to loving you. Infatuation shows up when it's fun. Love shows up when it's inconvenient. Most men, when they're attracted to a woman, will be on their best behavior in the beginning. They'll text back quickly. They'll take you out. They'll say all the right things there. But what happens when your needs conflict with his schedule, his priorities, or his habits? That's when the mask comes off. They realize that's when you find out whether you're dealing with who's emotionally available or just playing a role. Love is action. And the most powerful realize that the real kind of love a man gives is when he begins choosing you, not just when it's romantic and easy, but when it costs him something. When he's tired after a long day but still shows up because he knows you need him. When he changes plans, your world shifted and you needed support. Realize that when he puts your feelings into the equation before making a decision that affects you both. That kind of man doesn't just want to impress you. He wants to protect you. He wants to be a source of comfort and consistency. And it's not about being perfect or always putting himself second. It's about the willingness to flex, to consider your heart, to ask. They realize that what does she need from me right now? And follow through, even when it's not convenient, even when it's not easy. They realize that and here's the thing, it's not the grand gestures that tell you he loves you. It's the subtle moments, the way he offers to pick you up when he's had a long day, the way he remembers your appointment and checks in. They realize that the way he cancels something he was looking forward to because you're overwhelmed and he knows you need support more than he needs fun that night. These are the invisible threads that weave a real relationship together. When a man prioritizes your needs, it's because your happiness isn't just a bonus to him. It's personal. Your well-being matters because you matter. And that shift, that emotional recalibration only happens when a man is truly invested. When your emotional safety becomes something he values just as much as his own. This kind of love is rare. But once you experience it, realize that you'll never again settle for a connection that doesn't include sacrifice. Because love at its core isn't about convenience. It's about care. Realize that it's about putting someone else's heart into your own hands and choosing day after day to hold it gently, even when it's hard. So when you see a man doing that for you, not because he has to, but because he wants to, you're not just loved, you're cherished. And that is the gold standard. Realize you can tell a lot about how a man feels about you by how he listens to you, not how often he nods. Now quickly he says, yeah, totally. Or that's crazy. I'm talking about real listening, the kind where you feel seen, heard, and understood. And here's the truth, men, don't listen like that for everyone. Realize that when a man truly loves a woman, he listens to her in a way that's deeper than surface level attention. He doesn't just hear the words you're saying. He listens for what's underneath. There, he pays attention to your tone, your body language, the way your energy shifts when you talk about something that excites you or something that hurts. Why? Because once a man is emotionally invested in you, your emotional experience becomes important to him. It matters whether you feel heard. It matters whether you feel safe enough to be vulnerable. So he tunes in, not just to respond, but to understand. This is what separates a man who's present from a man who's pretending. Realize that the guy who loves you will bring up things you thought he forgot. He'll remember that random story you told about your childhood or the fear you shared weeks ago that made you tear up. And then realize that at the right time, he reflects it back, not to impress you, but because it stayed with him, because your world has become part of his internal world now. Realize that you'll also notice that his listening shows up in his actions. He adjusts his behavior based on what you've said. You mentioned how you feel unappreciated at work. He brings it up the next time you're feeling discouraged. You told him birthdays are a big deal to you. He marks yours with intention. Because when a man loves you, he doesn't need to be told twice. He wants to remember. He wants to be the man who gets it right for you. But more than that, he listens to your silence. He notices when you're quiet. When something's off. He asks, are you okay? Not just because he's supposed to, but because your peace matters to him. Your heart is part of what he's protecting, even when you're not speaking. This kind of listening, deep, conscious, emotionally attuned listening, rare. It's not sexy in a flashy way. It doesn't get attention on Instagram, but it's what real love looks like behind closed doors. It's what builds safety, trust, and emotional intimacy there. And when you feel heard like that, when you feel like you don't have to explain everything twice, like someone sees you even in your smallest moments, that's when you realizing this isn't just a relationship, this is love. Because in a world full of distractions, the man who chooses to be fully present with you is the one who's already chosen you. One of the most powerful and rarest signs that a man truly loves you is when he allows you to see his vulnerability. Not the curated version, not the story he tells after he's already healed from it. I'm talking about the raw man. This is what I'm really feeling. Kind of vulnerability. The kind he hides from the high rest of the world, but slowly reveals to you because somewhere down he trusts you with it. Let's be honest. Most men are taught not to show weakness. They're from a young age, they're conditioned to be strong, in control, unshakable. Vulnerability, that's dangerous. It's unfamiliar. And for a lot of men, it's even shameful. But love has a funny way of cutting through that. When a man genuinely loves a woman, she becomes his emotional safe place. And little by little, the armor comes off. He shares his fears, not just about the world, but about himself. He tells you where he feels like he's not enough. He admits when he's scared he'll fail. Realize that he confesses the things he hasn't healed from, the things that still make him question whether he's lovable or worthy. And not because he wants pity, but because he wants closeness. He wants you to see the full picture of who he is and still stay. This is love in its most real human form. Because vulnerability is never about dramatics. It's in the quiet moments there. When he tells you about the time he lost someone, when he talks about the pressure he puts on himself, when he opens up about how hard it is for him to trust and how scary it is to let someone in. These aren't rehearsed lines. They're moments of honesty that cost him something. And if he's giving them to you, it's because he knows you'll hold them gently there. And here's what most people don't realizing: when a man becomes vulnerable with you, he's not showing weakness, he's showing strength. The strength to be seen, realize that they're not just as your protector or provider, as a person with depth, with doubts, with wounds. He's saying, I don't need to perform for you. I just want to be real with you. Mm-hmm. If a man is letting you into his emotional world like this, don't miss it. Don't rush past it. Don't shut it down. Because that moment where he stops being who the world expects him to be and just becomes who he really is, That's love trusting you. That's the deepest level of connection he has to offer. Realize that there. So if he's brave enough to take off the mask and let you see the man behind it, hold that moment sacred. That's not just romance. That's intimacy. That's the kind of love that isn't just about passion. It's about partnership. It's the love that lasts. When we talk about men protecting the women they love, most people think of physical protection being the guy who walks her car, stands up for her in public, or defends her if someone disrespects her. And yes, that kind of protection matters. Realize that there. But there's another layer that runs deeper, the kind that's invisible, quiet, and far more intimate. Emotional protection. When a man loves you, your feelings aren't just something he tolerates. They're something he respects. He starts to think differently. Realize they're there. He becomes more aware of how his actions, his words, and even his silences affect your heart. And that awareness isn't accidental. It's deliberate. Realize that there. It's a shift from being emotionally reactive to being emotionally responsible. This doesn't mean he's perfect. It doesn't mean he'll never get frustrated or say the wrong thing. Realize that there. But the difference is when he loves you, he cares about how it lands. Realize that there. He doesn't want to be the storm in your life. He wants to be the place you can come to when everything else feels like a storm. Realize that that's why a man in love starts doing things like before speaking in anger, apologizing, fast-checking himself before he lashes out. He begins to choose patience over pride, understanding over ego, because in those moments where he could hurt you with his words, he chooses not to. And let's be clear, this kind of emotional protection isn't weakness. It's not a man backing down, it's a man stepping up. It takes incredible strength for someone to regulate themselves in a heated moment, to say, yes, I'm upset, but I still care more about your heart than I do about being right. Sometimes emotional protection means having the hard conversation, even when it would be easier to shut down. There's sometimes it means being honest in a gentle way rather than blurting out the truth in a way that wounds. Sometimes it's as simple as noticing when you're anxious and asking, realize that there, what do you need from me right now? And the best part, he doesn't do it because you demanded it. He does it because you matter. Because loving you isn't just about holding your hand when things are good. It's about guarding your heart when things get hard. When a man protects you emotionally, you feel it. You relax there. You stop bracing for the next argument, the next passive-aggressive jab, the next moment where he punishes you for feeling something. Instead, you feel safe. Realize that there, and safety isn't boring. It's liberating. It allows you to be fully yourself without the fear of being judged or diminished. So when a man loves you, truly loves you, there he stops seeing your emotions as a burden and starts seeing them as part of what makes you worth protecting. And in that, you don't just feel loved, you feel safe to love him back. There, one of the most powerful signs that a man truly loves you is this: he starts imagining a future, and you're in it, not in theory, not in some distant, vague, maybe one day kind of way. Realize that there, you become a factor in every choice he makes moving forward. And that shift doesn't happen because he's trying to say the right things. It happens because deep down there, he doesn't want a future that doesn't include you. You'll notice this in small, you'll almost effortless ways at first. Maybe it's when he says, realize that there, next summer we should go there together. Or when he's making financial decisions and says, I want to be in a better place for us. Maybe it's the first time he casually says we instead of I. When talking about something months from now, there, that word, we isn't accidental, it's emotional muscle memory. It's a man mentally and emotionally beginning to build with you, not just beside you. When a man is just dating for fun, his conversations about the future feel shallow. They're foggy. He might say things someday or maybe, but there's no direction, no timeline, no intentionality there. But a man who's in love starts getting specific. And more than that, he starts planning not just for experiences, but for a life. He starts asking real questions. Realize that there, would you ever want to live somewhere else? What do you want your future to look like? He starts considering what's compatible, what you both value. Realize that what kind of life you want to co-create. Here's the thing, men don't do that for just anyone. A man might enjoy someone's company, sleep with them, take them on trips, realize there and still never see them as part of his real future. But when a man loves you, his decisions begin to reflect you there. He's not just thinking about his goals, he's thinking about how to make room for yours too. And this isn't just about words, it's about how he moves. He starts saving money differently. That he starts prioritizing things that support long-term connection, not just short-term pleasure. He becomes invested, not just emotionally, but practically. Because to him, their love isn't just about being there when it feels good. It's about building something that lasts. You'll also feel the emotional safety in this shift. You no longer have to chase reassurance or wonder where things are going. His consistency tells you everything. You're not left trying to decode mixed signals. His actions say clearly, I see you as someone I want to grow with. So if a man is including you in his long-term thinking, his plans, his goals, his dreams, understand what that really means. He's not just trying to keep you around. He's already chosen you as part of the life he wants. And once that happens, you're no longer just his girlfriend or his partner. You become his home. Every relationship faces tension. Even the healthiest couples disagree. There's the truthy, but here it's not whether you argue that defines love, it's how you argue. And one of the clearest signs a man truly loves you is this there. He fights for the relationship, not against you. You know you're with someone who loves you when even moments of conflict. He still wants to protect the connection. There, he doesn't weaponize your vulnerability. He doesn't punish you with silence or sarcasm. He doesn't walk away to win the argument. Instead, he stays. He leans in, not to be right there, but to make it right. When a man loves you, the argument isn't about proving a point. It's about preserving the bond. He doesn't see you as the opponent. He sees the problem as the opponent there. And you'll notice that even when his voice is raised, even when he's frustrated, there's still a sense of care in the way he speaks. He'll say something like, I don't want us to keep doing this. Instead of, you always do this. He'll take accountability. He'll ask you what you need. He'll admit when he's scared of losing you, because that's what love does. It slows down to make room for understanding. This doesn't mean he's perfect or always perfect, emotionally articulate. But when a man is truly in love, there you'll feel his desire to come back to you, not just the comfort of being alone. He's not looking for a way out. He's looking for a way through. He wants to feel close again. He wants resolution, not revenge. And sometimes it means swallowing pride. Sometimes it means apologizing first. Sometimes it means giving you space even when it hurts. Because he knows the space is what you need to feel safe again. That kind of emotional maturity, it's love showing up in the hardest moments and still choosing to be gentle. Think about that for a second. A man who fights for the relationship sees beyond the argument. He remembers who you are to him. He remembers why you matter. Realize that he doesn't throw threats or play our games. He reminds you, even in the heat of it, we're okay. We're going to get through this. And when a man can love you through the fight, not just before or after it, you're not just in a romantic partnership. You're in something built to last, because real love doesn't disappear when tension shows up. It becomes stronger, becomes clear. It becomes more committed to learning how to do this better together there. So if he shows up during the fight, if he stays calm when he could lose his temper, if he comes back to you every single time with a heart that says that you are working through this fog, you don't just have a man who loves you, you have a man who's ready to keep loving you, even when it's hard. So many women spend sleepless nights trying to decode a man's words, replaying text messages, wondering, does he love me? But the truth is, when a man really loves you, he doesn't just say it, he shows it. Over and over again, you see it when he prioritizes your needs, not because it's convenient, but because your happiness has become part of his, you feel it when he listens, not just to your words, but to your heart and remembers things that matter to you. You witness it when he drops his guard and lets you see their unfiltered version of himself. His fears, his flaws, his truth. You experience it when he chooses emotional protection over ego, when he puts your feelings ahead of his own pride. You recognize it when he talks about the future, and it's not his future anymore. It's yours together. And most of all, you know it when he fights, not against you, but for you there, for the relationship, for the connection that matters more than being right. This is love. Real grown up, stay when it's hard, take responsibility love. And the beautiful thing, that you don't have to beg for it. You don't have to chase it, because the man who truly loves you won't make you wonder. He'll make you feel safe, considered, valued, chosen. So here's your call to action. Don't settle for someone who only shows up when it's easy. Don't fall for gestures that look like love, but vanish under pressure. They're wait for the man whose love doesn't just sound good. It acts right. Because once you've seen what it's like to be truly loved, you'll never again waste your time on anything less.